Hi, everyone, and welcome to A&B Horror Movies. I'm Aaron,
I'm Ben.
and today we're
Oh,
very
horror
excited.
movies.
A&B Horror Movies. We are very excited to be joined by Buddy Cooper today, the legend. Buddy, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Yeah, thank
My
you.
pleasure. Yes, yes.
So let's see, Buddy,
Glad to be here.
you were the writer, the director, the mastermind behind the 1984 horror slasher, The Mutilator, and you are the director and I believe writer of the upcoming sequel, Mutilator 2, which we'll ask you about in a moment. But before we get to that, let's talk with you about The Mutilator, your first film.
Okay.
So
Yes.
Ben, I'll turn it over to you if you want to ask the first question.
Yeah. I guess the first question would be, how did it all come about? The idea of the mutilator and making it into a film, really?
Uh, I was the movie reviewer for the local paper for a few years during the slasher era. And so I was familiar with the formulaic movie plots. And after Labor Day weekend, I live here at the beach. Labor Day weekend is always crowded, lots of people. And in '81, the day after Labor Day, I was walking down the beach with a pal of mine, and it was desolate. You could look for a mile or two in either direction up and down the coast, and there were no people. And it just occurred to me that we're also an island, that this would be a good spot to have some young people be isolated and picked off one by a killer. And it grew from there. Since we were in a water setting here at the beach, it made sense for the killer to use nautical implements to do the children in, and it just grew from that.
Awesome idea, and that's a great way to get the Mutilator made and a perfect start. I've heard that it was a family and community fair making the first Mutilator. Can you can you say a little bit about that? And I guess one question is, do you have any family members that didn't speak to you ever again after the movie? I joke about that part.
We're all still talking.
Okay.
Well, yes, I was the writer, director, and the guy who lost all the money in the thing. My son played the boy who shot his mother. His mother was my wife, one of the cheerleaders outside the dorm. It's my daughter. One of my sisters was in the makeup department, and she was also an extra standing outside the dorm when that happened. There's a professor who comes out of the dorm and walks off with a couple of students. That was my father. And my co-director, John Douglas, said about halfway through the movie, he said, buddy, most people shoot home movies in Super 8, we're shooting in 35. I thought that was funny. But yeah, we had the town gave us a lot of support. An example, we were shooting the dorm scene where the kids drive off from the dorm. And I've been in contact with the chief of police. That was in Morehead City, the town across the bridge. And I called just to make sure we had traffic control. That's Bill Condon, his name. Chief, we're going to be shooting over there this afternoon. We'll make sure we got traffic control. He said, nobody's called. Somehow the production manager forgot to call. And he said, when are you shooting? I said, about 15 minutes. He said, my God. He said, I don't know what we can do, but I'll see what I can do. So we showed up, the whole crew, lights, camera, actors, and he showed up with some policemen, and they stopped traffic and directed traffic for us. There's a daily train that comes through in the afternoon, transfers jet fuel from the port to a nearby Marine Corps air base. And we were getting ready to shoot, and the train started coming through, right there, half a block away. And I said to him, can you stop the train? He said, no, we can't stop the train, but I can speed it up. And he went out there and he did. And they flagged the train. They speeded up and got it out of the way. In the next block, they were building a building, and they had a trouble with water flooding the parking lot they were building. I called the woman who was in charge of that, and she said, we'll take care of that. They sent a guy down, and a block away, when we were getting ready to shoot, we'd wave, and he'd cut the pump off so we wouldn't interfere with the sound. after the take, we'd wave and he'd cut the pump back on. And that's the kind of support that we got in the community, both in Morehead City and in Atlantic Beach. Everybody was just glad to help. It was a little bit of fun for them, we got to admit, but they did a lot that they didn't have to do.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Good answer.
Awesome. Obviously, you was just saying about like all stuff going on in the town, the train and everything else. What was the was there anything else that was sort of quite difficult with filming wise that you wasn't expecting?
Well, yes, difficult, yes. There's the original ending as written was to take place on the bridge. It's a drawbridge, and the bridge was going to come down and lop off the killer's legs and it could be gory, and it was going to go from there. That was all set up, and but at the last minute, the governor said, no, he didn't want to participate in supporting a movie like The Mutilator. So we lost the bridge scene. And we were, before that, there's a scene where the children drive across the bridge followed by a police car. And the governor called off the highway patrol, no traffic control. So we called the local police station. They said, yeah, we'll take care of that. They stopped traffic. I'll point out that it was Memorial Day weekend and there were miles of tourist cars backed up waiting. What the hell is going on? While we shot that scene going across the bridge. Just more local support and a couple of things that, yeah, were problematic.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it all came together, and that's amazing that they were so eager to help the local folks.
Yeah, they helped the Mutilator too also.
Oh, well, we'll get to that in a moment. We can't wait. But before we do, so the special effects in this one are stunning. I guess I have a two-part question. What was the most challenging kill scene to film? And what are your thoughts on the CGI technology that's available today? Would you have used that perhaps if it was available then? Some of it.
Let me ask that second question first.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what I was doing. If I had known that there was something easier to do available, I probably would have tried it, yeah. In retrospect, I'm really glad that I didn't, because this social special effects really worked. Yeah, some of them were difficult. In fact, a couple of them didn't work. The story I love to tell is the pool scene where Linda gets drowned. That wasn't supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be a spear from a spear gun coming up from below, piercing her abdomen. The wings of the spear gun open, the spear pull her back down into a bloody whirlpool of water in the pool. So it's the night shot, it's a night scene, and a few of us were sitting on the porch at the condo where it was being shot. Over there, the cameras were all set up, crew, sound, everybody's sitting around waiting. We were waiting for the special effects team to show up with the prosthetic. Let's go shoot it. And we waited and waited, and it's getting late. The sun's going to be coming up pretty soon. We got to shoot. And eventually the special effects team showed up, hat in hand, and said, we can't make it work. What do you mean we can't make it work? We can't make it work. And I said, fuck it, we'll just drown her. And that's what we did. We went over there and drowned her. And in slow motion and with this Michael Menard score, I think it really works. I think it works well. I don't think the movie suffers at all by not having that gag work.
No, I think it's a perfect example of less is more. It actually worked. It was very effective.
Yeah.
So a lucky change, I guess I would say.
Yeah, I think so. My favorite kill, yes, I don't have a favorite kill, but one that I don't know. They all I kind of like the effect achieved with Ralph's getting stabbed through the neck with the flounder gig.
Yes.
That was so effective that when we had to go back to cut it for an R with MPAA, the MPAA insisted that we take out a shot that wasn't there. It didn't exist. You go here and we cut showing the back. They said it is. I said we had to get the editor in the editing room on the phone with the woman at MPAA and go by frame by frame And finally she said, "Oh, okay, it's not there." So that the effects of that kill worked really well.
Oh yeah, so they remembered it was as if they remembered something that happened that didn't because they were so traumatized perhaps by the scene. Excellent. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they were against the movie.
Yeah, of course.
Nice.
Go ahead. Ben.
With filming location, obviously you said it's on the island. Was it all pretty close together, or
Yes.
was you quite spread out? All
Yeah,
close together.
my family owns and operates the Oceana Motel fishing pier. And that's where the cast and crew stayed when we were shooting. I had built some oceanfront duplexes next door. And that's where the film was shot and where the crew hung out and ate meals. And so it's walking distance from the motel property line to the condo where it was shot, 100 feet maybe, close. It was all close. Yeah, and the beach scenes were all right out front. Yeah, all in my place. There were a couple of sets we shot out for. The dorm was in Moorhead. The scene where Ralph buys some beer at a convenience store was a couple of blocks away. The scene where the children were at a bar having a beer, deciding what to do, that was a couple of blocks away. And the hospital scene was in Moorhead. All of them very close. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So,
Nice.
yeah, that's great. Back to me. I understand that the pool scene, back to the pool scene, that you used milk to make it cloudy to create more of an effect. And even that you put a tent over it, right? So guests at the hotel didn't see what was happening. But I can't stop wondering, where did you get all the milk? Did you just go to every grocery store, gas station in town and buy every milk?
Well, where did you, how do you know that we use milk? Who told you that? Who broke my secret?
I actually watched the making of documentary, so I
Oh, okay.
this amazing addition from Arrow.
That's a really good release. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
they
awesome.
did that. Yeah, guy named Amy Kent came over and conducted all the interviews and things. He did well.
Mhm.
I don't know where we got to go. Oh, I can make an educated guess.
Okay.
We serve breakfast here at the motel and serve milk at breakfast. And the guy who was in charge of breakfast, I probably said, "Give me some milk." And he just called the milk company and had the truck bring it
They
over.
brought a whole truck of milk over.
He was the person who put it in the pool, so he was in charge of he was the milk guy. He handled it all. He dumped it in there. We got it by the gallons, not by half pint cartons.
Okay. I had visions of you pouring gallons of milk into the pool, but that makes more sense.
He did it 1 gallon at a time. I look at no, name was me, called him me, no, we need more milk, put some more in there. He kept pouring it in. The tent came from a crew was repairing a roof at Emerald Isle, 10 or 15 miles away. And the set electrician lived there. And he said, they got to, I said, tell them to bring it down. They don't take it away. So they brought it down and set it up and left it there over the pool for a couple of days, just for an attaboy. The plants were motel plants put in there from somewhere. It wasn't put up to keep the guests of the motel out, although we did keep them out. It was put up for scenic reasons. It was to make a pretty scene, and it did.
Oh yeah, okay,
think.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to move on to Mutilator 2, but also stay within the first one. I was wondering, how different did it feel to film each movie? Has stuff changed a lot, or was it pretty sort of the same? You hit it the same way?
The equipment and the technology changed an awful lot, changed dramatically. We shot the Mutilator in 35 with big old heavy lights and stands, lots of them. Had to gel the lights to get the right mood, gel the windows to affect the daylight, put screens up to block out the real sun, and put our own sun in, that sort of thing. and the cameras had to reload film reels, put 10 minutes of screen time on a reel, a big reel. Had to keep changing those to keep them going and moving the cameras around. Had a dolly with a 600-pound capacity to handle caves. Just it was physically more demanding compared to what we do now. You got a camera about half the size of a shoebox, and lightweight LED lights. One guy can pick up a light stand and move it over there in one hand.
Yeah.
But the same process is involved. You get some light passing through a lens and you catch it somehow. The sound, it's interesting that the sound hadn't changed. You got the same, you got a guy with a boom and mics, radio mics and boom mics, and the sound was, he's got a recorder going. His recorder is probably digital. I didn't pay attention to that. His recorder is probably digital, but in Mutilator 1, it was tape.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
What was it like working with the new cast on Mutilator 2? So I understand that Eva Hamilton, who we actually had on about a year ago, is in it. And can you tell us if there are some familiar faces who are returning?
Working with the cast in Mutilator 2 was wonderful. That crowd showed up prepared. I mean, they were professional. They came. Ryan James said, "Let me tell you what I got." He was bubbling over with enthusiasm. He had my favorite character in the movie. And they worked well together. Cody Cameron and who's gonna kill me? Clayton McNutt. They got along. There were a couple, and they got along. You'd swear those two have been lifelong lovers. No, I don't even think they'd met before they came on. The whole cast was just like that. They were professional. Their performances are superb, and I can't wait for the whole world to see them. A familiar face, aside from Eva, whom you mentioned, Terry Kaiser played Big Ed. We got into pre-production on this in 19, and Jack Chatham was on board. He said he couldn't do much physical stuff. I told him we'd get somebody else to do that in front of his face and his voice. But then we had the pandemic, and pulled the plug on everything. And by the time that was over, when we were back in gear, Jack had achieved 96 years of age, and so he just put himself on the injury list. He couldn't perform. So we got Terry Kaiser, who's bears a resemblance to Big Ed in Mutilator 1.
Yeah, cool. Great choice. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was going to say, with going with the killer Big Ed, did you look at any other movies? And because you said it was sort of like in a slasher era, was there a certain character from another film you liked to sort of, I don't know, maybe use a little for your character?
No, but there is a scene in which some characters from other movies I like.
Yeah.
Start through. There's a part of the story is there's a rap party. The setup is there's a movie within a movie for Mutilator 2, and the movie that's being shot is a remake of Mutilator 1, which allowed me to bring back some of the cast members of Mutilator 1 to attend this party. And in the party and a couple of shots, there's some noticeable horror figures darting by. I think Jason goes by, Art the Clown darts by, and like that. So those are some of the characters of the movie that I like. But you can't make a movie about somebody else's characters. That's not right.
Of course, yeah. Can you tell us when the Mutilator 2 is coming out? I know fans are eager to see it.
I promise you, I am more eager than the fans.
Okay. If you can't say, that's totally fine. We understand.
I don't have a deal right now. I have 3 on the table. I'm looking at them, but nobody has twisted my arm yet.
Okay. Well, hopefully soon. We're hoping for the fall, because October, I believe, is the 40th anniversary of the first Mutilator, if my math is
Yeah.
correct.
I think it was Labor Day weekend. I think we brought out Labor Day weekend, broke it in 50. I went through
Okay.
some old files today looking for something, and I came across the records of the thing. It was broke in 53 theaters Labor Day weekend, because that was the weekend that a lot of people with money would go to their beach houses, the beach for the weekend, and the people who might be fans of that type movie stayed in town and went to the movies. That's what the distributor said. Excuse me one second. I'm trying to.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
bothered by not being able to remember Cheney Morrow's name. He did such a great job. Anyhow,
It happens.
Cheney Morrow. I found one other thing I'd like to show to you. We use this
Sure.
in Mutilator 2, and we were putting things away. I lost it somehow. I thought it was gone for good. But in the course of looking through these old Mutilator files, I found it. It was simply misfiled in a terrible way. I don't know, maybe you can. Do you remember this?
Oh my gosh,
Anybody?
yes. That's the original one. Yeah.
That's the original one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
that's
I
cool.
was glad to find that. I thought it had been lost for good.
I think you
That's
should
literally
frame it. Go
piece
ahead,
of
Ben.
movie history. That's awesome. No, I'm just saying that's literally a piece of
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
history. That's awesome.
Yeah, agreed. Well, we can't wait for the Mutilator 2. As soon as it drops, we will definitely check it out. Why don't we jump over to some viewer questions? We have a couple questions for you. The first one is from Niall Owens. He's the director and writer of Gateway, his first film that came out in 2021. We actually had him on our show as well. He said, what was the thinking behind Big Ed not wearing a mask? Was it because you didn't want to follow that particular trend at the time, or was it something else? And was his musical theme inspired by Jaws?
First, let me say that I looked up the Gateway. There are two Gateways 2021. You aware of that? You had to look to see writer director to get the right one. And look,
Yes.
there were two of them. The question, whether or not Big Ed should wear a mask, the question never rose in my mind. So it was not something that, it was not a decision to be made. This is an interesting question. I think it's only come up once before, and not in a question, not as a question. Someone sent a clip of an interview or a discussion between Eli Roth and Quentin Tarantino, two greats, right? And they were chuckling, and they were talking about the Mutilator. I've been told it's a fan. Eli Roth was a fan of the movie. They were talking about Big Ed and chuckling, and one of them said, the guy doesn't even wear a mask. And they chuckled. I said, well, yeah. The guy, it was so patently clear to me, and I assume it would be to the audience, who the killer was. There was no need to hide him. I mean, we knew who he was. And he had such a great face, mean looking, rich as teeth. That's something with the jaws. You put a potato sack over that, I think we would have lost something. In retrospect, I'm glad that we did it that way without a mask. I think we would have lost something. Did you have a thing? What was about something about the song?
Was the musical theme inspired by Jaws?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. Michael Menard, musical genius, Michael Menard, composer extraordinaire, came up with that thing. He did it all, and it's good. No, I don't know the answer to the question. I'll have to ask Michael next time I'm in touch with him.
That's good. Yeah, I thought that was a good one too. And Ben, look at all your Jaws memorabilia in the background.
Yeah.
Ben, why don't you ask the next one?
Yeah, this is Brian Fake Voorhees. Hello, Brian. Loves a question, is Brian. Living in an area that does not have full break, I've always thought of the Mutilator as taking place over Columbus Day weekend. But when exactly does full usually? Hang on, I've read that wrong. When exactly does full break usually occur? Sorry.
It's been about 50 years since I enjoyed fall break. I don't know if they still have a fall break on the same time as they did back when I was in school. But at that time, it seems like it was over a Thanksgiving weekend, they would add a few days recess to what would have been a long weekend and make it an extraordinary long weekend.
That makes sense.
Okay. Tell me where you guys are from, please.
Yeah, sure. I'm from Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, and Ben is from.
I'm the UK. I'm from the UK.
Well, that's a big town, you know. What part of the UK?
I'd say, I'm trying to think of somewhere you might. I'm probably about an hour from London.
Southwest, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, very yokel sort of place.
Okay.
Lots of fields.
Towards Liverpool.
Yeah, there's basically a racing village, race horses. So.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Brian has one more question. Do you want to do that, Ben? And then we'll do this or that.
Yeah. Does Mutilator does Mutilator 2 have a new theme song in vein of Fall Break? And does Fall Break song make an appearance in Mutilator 2?
Mutilator 2 does not have a theme song.
Too bad.
And it is too bad. I mean, the Fall Break theme song is really catchy. People like it. I like it. And I would always like Minority. He said, "What kind of music do you want?" And that's another story. The theme song does appear in Mutilator 2 at the rap party, which I mentioned earlier. If you listen carefully, you'll hear a version of the Mutilator theme song being played softly in the background as a tribute to the song.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Like I said, we can't wait to see it. Well, keeping things moving, let's do the this or that segment. So basically we're going to give you two options and just pick one, whatever your preference is. Kind of fun. Hopefully, we think it's fun. Hopefully it'll be fun. I'll go first. So 80s or 70s horror movies?
70s, because Alien came out in the late 70s. My favorite.
Oh yeah, okay. Good answer.
Creature feature or end of the world movie?
Wow. That's tough. I love dystopian science fiction pictures, but I also love War of the Worlds, right? And the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Ben, I can't. Creature feature.
Okay, there you go. Let's see, Bela Lugosi or Boris Karloff?
Bela Lugosi.
Yeah. Both greats, but yeah.
They're good, but yeah.
Leatherface or Ghostface?
Who was the first one?
Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Ghostface.
Let's see, beach or city vacation?
Well, I live at the beach. I'm here all the time. I'm gonna say city.
Awesome.
Daytime or nighttime horror?
Nighttime.
Let's see, possessions or haunted house movies?
Possession.
Deranged killer or killer dolls?
Deranged killer, the only way to go.
Okay, this one might be tough. Fall Break or Spring Break?
Spring Break was the designed sequel to Fall Break. Somebody beat us to it with a different movie. Spring Break or Fall Break? Yeah, I don't know. Fall Break.
That's kind of a joke. And then last one, Ben, over to you. Final.
Halloween or Jaws?
Jaws.
We always ask that.
We asked that. Yeah. We always ask that because Halloween's Aaron's favorite movie and Jaws is mine.
Jaws. Jaws is,
One of
I
the,
like Jaws better than Halloween. I like Halloween's got some nice things, especially when that little girl's hanging over the, never mind.
yeah, yes, yeah.
You know the scene I'm talking about.
Oh, of course. I have seen it a few times. Yes. See, that was fun. Well, let's see. This was amazing, buddy. Thank you so much for chatting with us. We're fans of the Mutilator. If you don't have the Arrow edition, grab it
Get it.
and check out the making of special. It's quite awesome and very informative, and it'll make you love the movie even more, I will say.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Let's see. Ben, do you have any final questions? Do you want to do the wrap up?
I don't. Thank you for having me on. It's been a lot of fun. Some of these things are not, but this one is. This one has
good.
been.
Good.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. That's awesome.
Yeah, we had a good time too. And keep us
I'd just like
updated
to
on the
say-
Mutilator too. We'll
Yeah.
promote it,
I'll
promote
say
it
that.
however we can.
Yeah, that would help. Thank you very much.
Buddy, thank you so much. And I'd just like to say, well done, because the Mutilator has an absolute massive following. I was looking this up, and Aaron also got me intrigued to looking at other stuff on the internet at it. And it's quite an interesting film, not only the film itself, but the way you made stuff. But I just like to say, well done for making such a cult film, I suppose to say, really.
Yeah, I second that.
Thank you for coming on.
Part of my
My pleasure.
childhood. And I've got to say, one of the best taglines, I can't read backwards.
Yeah.
By sword, by
That-
pick, by axe, bye-bye. Brilliant.
I wish I'd thought of it. Somebody else came up with that.
Well, it works.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. To everybody watching, go over to Instagram, follow us over there, A&B Horror Movies. Also, thank you if you are following us. Thank you for watching and subscribing. Again, thank you to Buddy, and just thanks to everybody who watches.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.